Welcome to this edition of the Ultimate Combat Experience. I'm Mike Stidham once again here with the greasy biker, Todd Reed. Man, oh man, the floor is shaking. We got a couple of big guys coming up into the cage. Of course, Salvador Sanchez, everybody knows about him. But Daniel Mulipula is a bit of an unknown. Big dude, though, going to be a lot of fun in the main event.
Hey, I'm looking forward to Brandon and Mike. You know, Brandon's just in town on leave from the military. Thought while he was in town, he'd get a couple fights. I'm excited to see it.
Brandon Marchant, who does that? You're in town, you should go visit your relatives. Instead, he wants to come in here and fight somebody. He fought last week. He's back here to do it again against the Sugarloaf. It's the Ultimate Combat Experience coming right at you.
All right, folks, as we mentioned, we got a pretty awesome night of fights on slate for you, and we're going to get things started with a couple of kind of medium-sized guys here, Jonathon Fox and Brandon Leiter. Jonathon Fox, the kid that we've seen a couple times before. He's a pretty game fighter, in pretty good shape. Got a little bit of a wrestling background, and you know, he likes going up here and doing his thing. His opponent, Brandon Leiter, seen him fight a couple times before as well. Bit of a street fighter, bit of a brawler. Not super well-refined fighter, but he's a gamer, and he comes out and he fights hard, tries hard.
Yeah, Brandon's one of those guys that he's ready to get right in there. Might not be as technical as some of these other fighters, but yeah, he's got that street fighting mentality where he's ready to get in there and get at it.
Yeah, you know, when the referee says go, I promise these guys are gonna go. Looks like Leiter's ready to go right now. He's got the stare down for sure. And round number one coming your way. Dave Sutstead, your referee for this contest. Dave been refereeing for quite some time here, and he says, "Gentlemen, let's do it." Touch of the gloves, and here we go. Right off the bat, as you mentioned, Leiter coming out, and well, no, actually, that was Jonathon Fox that got the big takedown there. Leiter
looked like Leiter was looking over to his corner.
Yeah, looking for some advice. What do I do now? He got me on the ground.
Way too early in the game for that.
Hey, should I hold on his head and squeeze? Yeah, right, I'll hold on his head and squeeze. So far, that hasn't worked out so well for him. Let go of the head, man. Let go of the head. I don't know why these guys do that, but they do. Jonathon Fox happy to land some body shots right there. Leiter getting some body shots of his own. And finally, Fox able to get his head out and sit up and land some big shots right here.
Yeah, Fox is pretty comfortable on the ground there.
Yeah, you can see that. Got a reversal, though. Leiter able to get around on top. He is in the guard of Jonathon Fox, though, and not doing a whole lot from that position thus far. I think he's just kind of trying to get his bearings back about him and landing a nice little left hand on another nice left hand.
Left by Brandon.
Jonathon Fox kind of hanging on to that right arm of Brandon Leiter, not allowing him to wind up and land any big shots with that.
It's like Brandon's trying to get him over to the cage there and press him up against.
A lot of these times your coach will tell you to bring him over by where we are so we can give you advice and get you out of the corner of the other guy. Fox doing a pretty good job of, you know, whenever Leiter stands up, he underhooks that leg, and you watch he's going to get a reversal out of that sooner or later if this continues to happen. Oh, looking for a figure four arm triangle choke right here. And I'm not so sure that Leiter knew that he was in trouble at first, and boy, he knows he's in trouble now. He almost tapped right there, trying to punch his way through it.
And that's the only thing you can do from right there. He's got that right opened up. He might as well start pounding on the ribs.
Well, I tell you, though, he is in a bad spot here. If Leiter cranks that on just a little bit more, you're going to see Leiter go to sleep. It doesn't look like he's quite got it. I think on the left side there, the shoulder's not in this choke, and you got to have that shoulder in there, and that's why he didn't get it. But he did get out from underneath, at least momentarily. He did not anymore. Now he's back up underneath there. Boy, he was Leiter was in a little bit of trouble there, and looks like he didn't learn anything because he left his arm right up there again, and well, now he's got it back.
Yeah, he's losing a lot of energy there, grabbing onto him like he is. I think Fox is in a great position right here. Just relax.
Yeah, you can tell he's got a bit of a submission background. He's certainly got he's very well versed on the bottom. He's got a pretty decent guard, and Leiter very wisely says, let's come back to our feet right before the end of the first round. We got more when we come back.
Sorry, I was late on that. Okay, coming back in.
Round number 2 of 3 between Jonathon Fox and Brandon Leiter. A couple guys fighting in the lightweight division here, and Jonathon Fox doing a very good job off his back. Brandon Leiter doing a pretty good job of thwarting submission attempts. And it looks like Jonathon Fox looking to get that big takedown right here to start the round off. Shot in on a nice deep single leg and was able to finish it up. Now he's got Leiter up against the cage.
Yeah, Fox is really working him good here.
Well, he's got him in a pretty good position here. He hasn't really taken full advantage of that position just yet. He's got him down on the ground, and it looks like he might be trying to catch a little wind right here. And this is after you just come off the stool for the second round. That's not a good sign. You should have a lot of energy coming off that stool, and it doesn't look like he's got that. Although he is letting Leiter just kind of burn his arms out there. We talk about that. These guys that get it from bottom, they just hang on and squeeze. That really comes to play when in the later rounds when they come back up on their feet. He's not going to have anything in those arms to do anything with.
No, Fox can just get past that left leg of Leiter, get over into full mount. I think he's going to be right where he needs to be to finish this off.
He's still looking for that choke, that arm triangle choke. He's not able to get into the position to do it, but you can see he's trying to nudge that arm up there with his head. And there goes that triangle, the arm triangle again. He's got to hop over on the other side. He's got to come over onto this side to sink that choke in. There you go.
There he goes.
There's step number 1. If he can get that other foot over, he'll get it. But he's not. He's kind of hanging out here.
He's stretching it out now.
I think it's kind of funny they've got all that tape all over his shorts there. It's because he's got pockets in those shorts. And so when you have pockets, they have to tape you up. So did he get the choke there?
There we go,
All right,
yeah.
well, there you go. You got that arm triangle in there, sunk it in just deep enough. And, boy, I tell you what, none too soon, man, because he's out of gas.
Fox with a submission.
Yep, that was a nice arm triangle. He came close to getting it in the first period. Couldn't quite get the position to get it done. But in the second period, he was able to do that, and he's got to feel pretty good about it. Look, he feels pretty good about that. All those times we practiced hugging each other, and now it finally pays off.
It pays off.
So now the question remains, what do we do next? If you're a guy named Brandon Leiter, what do you do next? You come back and do this thing again? Do you kind of hang it up? And really, when you come out here for a fight like that, a kid that you felt like he was confident he should have won that fight, does he come back and do it again, or does he kind of say, like, I've had enough? Looks to me like he's ready to go again.
I think we're going to see him some more.
Yeah, I hope so, man. He's a pretty decent kid. He just needs some experience. He needs to get into some of the right guys and do some of the right training to get where he wants to be. Obviously, Jonathon Fox is getting that training. Nice win for him. Congratulations. Hopefully we'll see more of it. Welcome back to the Ultimate Combat Experience. If you're just joining us, you missed a pretty good little first fight of the night, and we're working our way into the second fight. Chris York going up against Anthony Miller. Anthony Miller here, looks like they're getting him ready to come out for the first round. Anthony, we haven't seen him in a little while. He's fought in the show a couple of times, and he's made progress. Let's put it that way. But I will say this, Chris York is a kid that's training over at my gym right now. Tough kid, good-looking kid. He's got all the right tools here, and I think Anthony Miller's got his hands full against old Chris York. Chris York is doing a little male modeling as well. He's not just a tough kid. He's beautiful. He's a beautiful man.
Double threat guy.
Not like these two guys right here. People like us, I hope. There you go. Yeah, there's the sultry eyes of Chris York. Good-looking kid. He's got all the tools. He's got all the potential to be something special in this sport. If he decides to follow, if he decides not to do it, he's got a pretty good backup plan in male modeling. I think. Chris York's got stand-up. He's got pretty decent wrestling. He's got long arms. He's got that physique, that body that, you know, people wish they had when they're fighting. And let's just say that Anthony Miller does not. Anthony Miller giving up a heck of a lot of reach advantage here to the former Marine and Chris York. And, boy, Anthony Miller looks like he's a little bit scared.
Yeah, you know, I would be too. He's looking about at his belly button, you know.
Yeah, and yeah, and you know, look, I should say once again, Anthony Miller, he's had a few fights and he has gotten better. And this is Chris York's first fight, but Chris York's just a specimen. He's one of those kids that's gonna make you hurt. He's that kid on the playground that took your swing away from you. He's that guy. I mean, and Anthony Miller's just in a lot of trouble there, I think.
Yeah, he's got his hands full right now.
You know, he's got his Chris York's got his hands full of Anthony Miller's head.
Yeah.
And well, it's in my opinion, it's a matter of time. It's not a matter of if, not when. Wasn't a super good matchup here. Although I'll give Anthony Miller credit, he's coming forward. He's not running from Chris York. He probably should, but he's not. And he's paying for it. He's taken some big right hands. He's taken some big left hands. He's taking a lot of stuff that Chris York's throwing at him. A big kick right there. Just trying to hang on for dear life. And boy, I'm not so sure he's going to be able to.
Yeah, Chris is really light on his feet out there. He looks really comfortable.
Yeah, as well he should. He's got he's overmatched in this fight, and but again, Anthony Miller, I give him
big right knees.
Man, I hate to see that. 3 of them, big right knees to the face. Those are gonna leave a mark, if not, and they're gonna leave an impression. Certainly, Chris York now just kind of slowing down on the ground, doing a little cross-face action here, looking to. Well, is he trying to sink and choke in here? What is he doing? Oh, nope, he said, get back up on your feet. I want to pound on your face some more. So he said, get back in there. We haven't seen your face get pounded enough just yet. Boy, just Chris York is a giant compared to this kid, seemingly. But he's so lean they're in the same weight class. It's just that look how lean that Chris York is. Well,
a couple nice rights by Anthony.
Anthony Miller landing a couple punches there. Good for him. They find themselves back on the ground, and Chris York in that front headlock position, trying to secure the arm there. I don't know if he's tired or what, but he just seems to kind of want to hang out there. He's got that front head and arm, and if he can squeeze that just right, you've got a front headlock. I don't think he knows that.
He doesn't seem to be any big hurry.
He's looking for a Darce choke.
There
That's
we go.
On. Boy, that was on pretty deep, and Anthony Miller had no choice but to tap out to that. Chris York getting it done. Wasn't the prettiest fight he's put on here, but he did get it done.
Another submission in the first round.
Yeah, boy, we've had a slew of those lately, haven't we? And I think you're going to see a lot more of that from Chris York. He's a kid that he's got a tremendous upside, and he's very proud of the fact that he served in the Marine Corps, and he's just a tough kid. But as I said, he's kind of at a crossroads. He may want to be a male model. He may want to be a fighter. It's kind of an interesting cross-section, what you say.
Well, if he keeps finishing in his fights like that, he's not going to have to worry about his face getting beat up. He did a fantastic job there.
Yeah, he sure did, boy. And look, man, Anthony Miller, props to you, man. You had to see this kid backstage and realize you were fighting a guy that was just much bigger and much stronger than you. And props to you for not running out the back door. Props to you for getting in here and putting on a battle for us tonight, and you made Chris York earn it. And I guess we haven't fully come to who's the actual winner of this fight. Dave Sellystead's really thinking about it. Left arm, right arm, not really sure. What do I do? The cameras are on. They're facing me. I'm looking out.
There we go.
Boy, it took him a minute. You could see the hamster going around in that wheel in his head, but finally he figured it out. Chris York getting a big win tonight. He's your winner. Welcome back to the Ultimate Combat Experience. We've got a couple middleweights coming out next, and first up is Charles Gruber coming out first, bouncing around, feeling pretty good about things. And he's going up against a kid that I know fairly well, Ruben Chacon. Really nice kid, Salvadorian kid, trains over at my gym, but hasn't, how should you say, he doesn't really attend classes all that regularly. He's a funny guy, man. Old Bill Colbert, the athletic commission director, was kind of getting in his face one day, and Ruben went to get his gun. He was going to come back and shoot old Bill Colbert, and I had to talk him out of it. Bill Colbert doesn't have any idea I saved his life one day. Bill got right up in his face, and Ruben's not used to that kind of stuff, man. Ruben says, you know, you don't show me respect, man, I'm going to show you respect.
This is going to be an interesting fight. We've got two big guys here, both ready to get after it.
Yeah, you know, look, both these guys are scrappers. Neither one of them are going to be super pretty to watch, but they're going to come in and scrap it out for you. And I personally enjoy these kind of fights. They both look like big, strong guys. And, boy, Chacon, he's trying to put it on Gruber. Gruber's not. I
don't think Gruber's having any of it.
He's not backing down one bit.
They're ready.
Bring it. All right, so round number one coming your way, and once again, Dave Salyusted's going to be your referee, and here we go. Touch of the gloves here, showing some sportsmanship to get things started, and boy, it looks like Chacon was really stalking Gruber, and Gruber said, you know what, I'm going to take you down, man. He shot underneath, got a nice single leg, and finishes the takedown right there against the cage. Nice work.
Yeah, I think Ruben looked a little surprised by that.
Yeah, he thought this was a fist fight. He didn't realize that you can get dumped on your head sometimes when you stand flat-footed like that.
Well, I don't blame Charles. I don't know if I'd want to go toe-to-toe with Ruben there.
Yeah, well, Ruben looked like he was going to swing some big, heavy haymakers. There's no doubt about it, man. Gruber wisely ducked underneath it and got that takedown. Here goes the old head squeeze that we're all so familiar with. Wow, look at that. A standing rear naked choke, and that is on tight. I'll tell you what, boy, if he gets his hooks around, he does. Gruber got his hooks around, and he is sinking that thing in deep. Chacon doing everything he can to fight it off, but I'll tell you what, that thing's in pretty deep. Oh, you know, it's funny when you see these Street Fighter guys come in and get their first choke put on them, and they don't really know what to expect. They don't know what they're kind of shocked by it all.
He's hanging in there.
Yeah, he's hanging in there all right, but I'll tell you what, he's in a bad spot, and there's a lot of time left in this round, and doing a good job of turning in him. I don't think he knows that he's doing what he's doing. He's doing a good job of turning away and not letting that choke. If he would have turned the other way, if he'd have turned and put his right shoulder on the mat, he'd have gotten out of this move, but he didn't know to do that. But he did a good job of getting around, and now I think he's in a position where, yeah, it's uncomfortable, but you're not going to get submitted by it, so you can just kind of hang out and bide your time just a little bit until Gruber comes out to the side or does something to give you the opportunity to get your hips up off the ground and get away.
You know, this is one of those times, too, where, you know, you're in danger of being stood up and you lose that position, too, if you don't get moving.
Yeah, if you don't do something, the referees will stand you up. The folks came here to see a fight, not a couple of dudes spooning each other. But, you know, Gruber doing a good job of keeping his hooks in there. He's got his feet crossed, which is kind of dangerous. You can see, well, you know, it would be dangerous against somebody that knows submission, but you can see that Chacon doesn't really know submission all that terribly well. Gruber doing a pretty good job of kind of peppering away at the side of the head here. You know, when the opportunity presents itself, he's trying to slip that choke back in, but you know, whenever his hand is pulled out, he throws a couple of shots to the side of the head, and so far done a pretty good job of keeping Ruben Chacon on his defensive here.
I don't think this is a position that Ruben's too comfortable being in, or that has seen too often.
No, he sure has, and did a nice job of finally turning around. Look at that big right hand. We expected that out of Chacon from the beginning, and right there is the end of the round, boy. Not a moment too soon for Charles Gruber. We got more when we come back. Welcome back to the Ultimate Combat Experience. Charles Gruber and Ruben Chacon mixing it up. Gruber able to get the back of Chacon at the first of the round, the last round, and really made him pay for it. And boy, it doesn't look like Chacon's very happy about that.
Yeah, I think Chacon's ready to stay up on his feet this time.
Well, he certainly learned his lesson. He got his hips back this time when Gruber shot in for that takedown. Got his hips back, and now really making Gruber pay. Dave Sully said coming and wiping his hands off because he was pulling on the shorts. You can't do that. You can't grab the shorts. And Dave Sully said doesn't want to stop the fight because you're going to disadvantage the guy on top. So he's just wiping the hand off there. Very nice move, but nice officiating. Boy, right there, Chacon getting a couple of big, deep breaths, and he's ready to wind up and land some more. Right here, it's coming. Here it comes. There you go. That was pretty nice, man. He just waited till Gruber got to his feet and let him have it.
I think that's a little punishment for the first round.
Yeah, a little payback, man. I tell you, you put me in that little awkward position. You were cranking on my neck the whole time. Now I got to punch you in your face, and I really, I think that's probably justified.
Well, he's pulling out both the guns here
He's
because he's winding up.
He's waiting until he gets on his feet. He's ready to let him have it again, and here we go. And, you got to watch for that takedown, though. You can't stand flat foot. You can't really dig in like a boxer on your punches. You can't put your legs behind him because that'll happen right there. If you dig in, you get taken down. So you got to stay on those toes and try to move and be accurate with your punches.
Yeah, Charles is looking a little winded there.
He's looking winded, and he's taking some pretty big shots to the side of the head. He wants to get this thing back on the ground where he can rest a little bit. But I don't know if Chacon's so willing to go down there. Big body shots. Those have got to hurt. And Gruber's feeling it. Now he's taking the side of the head. Well, I tell you what, Chacon really has come alive in this second round. He's like a whole different guy. And, boy, he's doing very well.
Yeah, I think Charles is starting to rethink his game there a little bit. He seems to be struggling a little.
Well, fatigue makes cowards of men, as they say. And he's pretty tired, and he's taking some big shots. And I just don't know that he's so much into this anymore as much as there was a tap right there.
It looked like a tap to me.
He did tap, but Dave Sully said it's kind of blind. Well, they're going to continue on here, and I think Charles Gruber is saying, hey, man, I tried to quit. You guys won't accept my resignation here. Yeah, man, I'll tell you what, Chacon continues to wail away at the body. Those are big shots, man, and if he's landing those on the right side, those are liver shots too, and you're going to feel those. Oh.
He's going to be hurting tomorrow.
Yeah, he is.
And there we are.
Dave's calling it there.
That was a good time to stop that.
Well, it was about 30 seconds past the good time to stop that. When the guy tapped the first time, he should have stopped it, but Dave wants to do the big wave off thing. I tell you, Ruben Chacon, again, he's a tough kid. If he would learn a few things, and if he would not try to shoot the athletic commission director, he's got a big...
may have a career here.
Yeah, he may have a career here, but hopefully he keeps it on the straight and narrow. And, look, Charles Gruber, I was impressed with him in the first round. He did a great job. He came out and did some very impressive things. His takedowns were pretty good. I think he just ran into a buzzsaw. Well, Chacon came alive in that second round, and he wanted nothing to do with that, going down on the ground again and doing it for Mexico.
Yeah, and that's got to take a lot out of you, trying to hold on to a big guy like Chacon like that. Charles isn't a small guy by any means, but holding on to someone like that is really going to wind you.
Well, and again, Chacon, he's just one of those kind of he's an angry guy, and he got angry, and that's what sometimes these guys you can fuel out that anger. Most of the time, anger is not your friend in this cage, but there's one of those situations where I think he just got mad. He didn't like being smothered in that first round. He didn't like having his neck cranked on. He didn't like that rear naked choke that Gruber was trying to put on him. And anger is what fueled him, and he came up and made him pay for it.
That was a strong finish right there. Some big rights.
Those are some amazing body shots. And, those shots to the head took their toll as well. Charles Gruber, come back and do this thing again. But, boy, tonight it's Ruben Chacon's night. Got it done. Oh, but it's time for some sugar. Mike Crisman and Sugarloaf coming out to fight against Brandon Marchant. Now, Brandon Marchant, as you can see, is a big, strong kid. Sugarloaf is not a big, strong kid. Brandon Marchant just in town from military, got a couple of days off. What do you do when you're constantly fighting in battle and you have a few days off?
You call up Mike.
You come home and hop in the cage, man, and fight some more. And so Brandon Marchant here, it's very interesting to see that Brandon, he loves to fight. But nobody loves to fight more than this guy right here, Sugarloaf. He's a character, and we should give him. He should be in the credits of this show because he's in every episode, whether he's fighting or cornering or just hanging out. He's here, but most of the time he's fighting. This kid has over 70 fights. He's about a 50-50 player. He wins half of them and loses half of them. He's fought some of the toughest guys in the business, and in fact, he doesn't only not shy away from those type of fights. He asks for them. He looks for these kind of fights. We know Brandon Marchant from the last time he was in town, and Sugarloaf says, "Let me fight him, man. I enjoyed watching him fight last time. I cornered the guy that he fought against, and I know exactly what I'm getting myself into. I want to fight this kid, and you got to take your hat off to a guy like that, Sugarloaf. And he's not that kind of kid that's just going to come out and tap on you. He's gonna if he loses, he loses. You got to beat this kid. He's a lot of fun to watch, and he's getting better and better all the time. I'm not so sure he's up to Brandon Marchant's level just yet, but Mike, try to tell Mike that.
Yeah, I think the Sugarloaf is going to have his hands full with Brandon. Brandon is one tough kid, and he looks like he is ready to go.
Yeah, he's definitely a tough kid. He's another one of those guys that you're not going to see real pretty technique out of. You're not going to look at him and go, oh yeah, he's light on his feet. He's very agile. He's not that guy, but he is a pretty accurate puncher. His punches look a little wild at times, but he's super, super tough. And there you go. Those are those wild punches we were talking about. He landed a nice big one coming out of the gate, and Sugarloaf wisely tries to tie him up.
Yeah, Brandon, very aggressive.
Oh, buddy. He's rung Sugarloaf's bell a couple of times already. Sugarloaf's he's a hard guy to put down. He doesn't get knocked out a lot. I spoke too soon. He ate a big shot right there. He's not knocked out, but...
And that is it.
Wow. Knowing who the participants in this fight are, that was a little bit of a quick stoppage, in my opinion. Sugarloaf is a pretty durable fighter. He got stung. Don't get me wrong. He got hurt. But he's not a guy that I would have stopped that fight so quickly over.
No, we've seen it before with Sugarloaf. He's been taken down, hitting hard, and gets right back up and goes for it.
Well, his biggest attribute is his durability. He's a guy that will take a lot of punishment, and usually when he comes out on top of a fight, it's when you've given some punishment and you just wear yourself out because of the overconfidence, and that's what happens a lot of times. And you could have very easily seen that happen in this fight where Brandon Marchant, he got that big shot. He felt that he had Sugarloaf in trouble, so he was down there wailing away, and Sugarloaf didn't seem to me like he was too terribly hurt by it. That's his girlfriend right there. Boy, they're in love too. They're in love.
Boy, we got to give it up for our refs too. They're in there doing a great job making sure that they're protecting these guys, the best they can, and it's hard to make those calls sometimes.
They're doing a great job most of the time. I don't think he did a great job this time. Dave, I think even Dave well, that's the thing. Dave knows this guy. He's seen him so many times, so he knows him on an intimate level, so to speak. But Brandon Marchant, all right, you came into town, you kicked it a little ass. Now go back overseas and kick some more ass for us, bro. Todd, I always love it when the big boys come out here, and we don't have a whole lot of guys that are much bigger than this, boy. Daniel Mulipula, not seen this kid before, but he says he's up to the task in taking out Salvador Sanchez.
Yeah, this should be a pretty good fight. Two very big guys, very aggressive.
Well, let me just tell you this. It's easier said than done beating Salvador Sanchez. He looks like Sal doesn't look like the most fit guy in the world. Sal hits like a Mack truck, and people don't realize how hard he hits until he's been hit by them. And it looks like Daniel Mulipula is about to find out.
Yeah, this is one where we're glad we're on the outside of this ring looking at these two guys.
I've sparred with Salvador, man. It's not fun. He hits, when he's sparring, he hits hard. He hits, he's fast too. He's got an interesting fight style. It's different from traditional boxing. He kind of holds his hands up real high, kind of like he's riding a chopper, is what it looks like. And the belief, it's called the Puas style. The belief behind it is you throw with the muscles in your back rather than the muscles in your legs. I mean, so if you were doing a bench press, you would use your back and to power that thing, your back and your chest, whereas most boxers believe that your power comes from your legs and your trunk. It's different, but it's effective, and the defense that they use is a little bit different. Rather than parry blocking with their hands, they move their head behind their hands. So it's kind of just counterintuitive, and it's hard for people to pick up because it's unorthodox for them. Somebody that's boxed all their lives in a traditional boxing sense, this is exactly the opposite of what you would expect from a fighter, and so they've been pretty successful with it. Mulipula landed, throwing some big shots right off the bat, but not landing. Salvador able to land a big right hand, putting Mulipula on the ground, and buddy, this might be over this fast.
Sanchez is relentless.
Yeah, he is. He's a beast.
Well, he's looking at the guy across from him thinking, yeah, he's a big guy too. Let's just get it done.
The biggest hit of the night is Dave Seiss did, pushing into Salvador Sanchez. He was waiting for that. You could see him. He was just waiting and came in and put his push on. Mulipula, hey, how does that Salvador Sanchez's right hand taste? I don't think he's hurt. In fact, I think it might have been a bit of a quick stoppage. Mulipula might not agree because he wasn't really defending, but he could have fought on. But Salvador came in, put his will on him, and Mulipula, I think he was defeated, no doubt about it. I don't think he wanted to fight anymore. You see right there, he caught at least one shot to the face.
And you see that little look by Sanchez looking over to Mulipula like, you got somebody.
Sal has always had kind of a love-hate relationship with the Polynesian community. You can see Maniac in his corner. He's really good friends with Ben Fuimano. But Polys don't like Salvador because he's a big brown kid, white kid, I guess, to them. He's a big kid that's always just never been afraid of him. Polynesians are used to kind of the white man being a little bit scared of him. Sal's not afraid of him, not one bit afraid of him. You can see why.
Sanchez, really nice guy too, good sportsman.
Sal's a really nice guy until you make him mad, and he's probably the last guy you want to have mad at you because there's not a whole lot he's not going to do to get his point across, that's for sure. All right, so as if we have to make this one official, I think Mulipula would already tell you that he lost his fight, but there you go. The judges see it. It's all happened. Salvador Sanchez getting it done in short work. He didn't get a sweat on it. In fact, guys sweat easy. We're going to move into the lightweight division. A kid named Jared Perego, new kid on the block. Haven't seen him before, going up against Scottie Casey. Scottie Casey, the redhead, Ginger, they call him. Interesting kid. He lives in the back of my gym and lives in a little room back there. Comes out to train and then goes back in to sleep. That's all we've seen. He's like a little rat. So literally, he's a gym rat.
There's a pretty big height difference here in reach.
Well, yeah, Scottie Casey is actually kind of tall for the division as well, and these guys look like they're about the same body structure, body size at least. Right there, Scottie Casey getting taken down by Jared Perego pretty easily, actually. Perego trying to keep that side control. Scottie Casey trying to pull him into his guard. Scottie Casey making that rookie mistake of hanging on to the head and ultimately wasn't able to keep control of Jared Perego. Casey's doing a good job of getting that underhook over on the left side there. Gives it up and now gives up his back, which was kind of a big mistake. Nice reversal, though. Well, this Perego kid just seems a lot stronger than Scotty Casey. They get in these little scramble situations, and it's not as though Perego's out-positioning him. He just is out maneuvering him and just out-powering him, powering Scotty Casey over, kind of putting him where he wants him to be.
Well, both these guys sporting mohawks here.
Yeah, it's hard to tell the two. One's a red mohawk and very thick, and one's a thin brown one. All right, Scotty Casey once again giving up his back. He thought he had something with that head, which he didn't. And, I'm glad to see that he bailed on that because he was in a little bit of trouble. And Jared Perego looking for a submission from underneath. Pretty action-packed fight. These guys haven't really settled into anything. They just kind of been back and forth from start to finish so far.
Yeah, I love to see it when two guys will get in there and just keep going for each other.
Yeah,
back and forth, a little bit of back and forth.
It gets a little tiresome to watch guys laying on top of one another. These guys haven't done that at all, for that matter. They've been pretty busy from start to finish. Until now. Scotty Casey, as soon as I say that, he's kind of settled in underneath there. Parego happy to continue to kind of pound away up top. Big knee as they come up to their feet. Scotty Casey tired of getting punched on. Oh, that was a nice leg kick right there by Scotty Casey. Some big knees as well. Jared Perego may have just blown his wad. I think he's out of gas. He came out real strong, but you can see just from everything in his posture, he's tired. Scotty Casey trying to get a standing guillotine. Well, pulls him down on top of him and trying to get a guillotine. Choke, not able to get it. What happens when you do that? You just pull the guy on top of you. A guy who was clearly tired, a guy who was fatigued and didn't have much in his tank, and you pulled him on top of you, really gave him an opportunity here. It's a big mistake on Scotty Casey's part, if you ask me, and taking a little beating for it, paying for it right here.
Yeah, well, there's any time to bring it. It was right there.
Yep, all right, round number 1 in the books. I think Scotty lost that round. I think Jared Perego was busier, landed a lot of shots. Scotty Casey shaking the cobwebs out. We got round number 2 when we come back. Welcome back to the Ultimate Combat Experience. Scotty Casey, Jared Perego putting on a show in round number 1. And my very unofficial scorecard, I've got Perego winning round number 1. Scotty Casey's got a little work ahead of him here if he wants to get back into this fight. Nice uppercut, boy. Oh, my goodness. He stung him a couple of times. Perego's knees buckled and wisely shooting in to get that takedown. Scotty Casey looking for that guillotine, not able to get it. Now taking some shots of his own.
Very aggressive fight. Neither one of these guys wasting any time.
Now Perego able to step over into full mount positions. Got Scotty Casey up against the cage. Scotty's giving up his back. Really bad things looking for Scotty Casey. Oh, got his hooks in. Perego got his hips a little high, though. If Scotty lifts up his butt, he can knock Perego off to the side, but it doesn't look like he's got a whole lot in the tank to do so. He's cleared one foot. Perego, I'm not sure what he's looking for underneath there. He's just trying to hang on. Got to get his position back. Scotty Casey coming out the back door, looks like. And he's out. Left an arm behind, though. You don't want to do that. Left an arm behind and slammed his way out of that. But that was a little touch and go for a second there. Perego looking to pull guard. Casey looking to not let him pull guard. Comes with a big right hand over the top and winds up in his guard.
Yeah, it looks like Jared might be a little winded there. I think he got rocked by that punch by Scotty.
That's the way to get somebody off you. He just wound up and kicked him. And I'm not sure what referee Ethan Andrews saw there. He didn't like the fact that Scotty took a swing while Perego was still coming up off the ground. I don't think that was an illegal shot. I think that Perego was off the ground. Yeah, I see nothing wrong with that. We're going to get back underway here after a severe admonishment by referee Ethan Andrews. Scotty Casey with a nice leg kick that clearly Perego didn't like much. And another nice leg kick.
Well, Jared better keep those hands up defending that face or he's going to get get a big one.
Yeah, yep, there you go. There's the big one. Scotty Casey's got a nice right hook and does damage with it right there with a big win. Ethan Andrews crawling all over him, and again, I don't know what's going on with these referees. They're wanting to get involved in the fight more than the fighters are.
Well, we've got some extra shorts in the back. If we can hook them up.
Yeah. All right. Well, Jared Perego having to be dragged back to his corner there, and Scotty Casey coming away with a big win. Big right hand finishes it after losing what I felt was most of the fight.
Wow. Salvador Sanchez making that Pua style look so cool, man. He knows how to throw it, and boy, Mulipula took a little nap.
I'll tell you what, another great fight here tonight. I love seeing these guys go after it. They're just incredible.
I thought the referee let it go a little long, man. Sal just kept pounding on old Mulipula's head, and the referee was just watching.
Well, I'll tell you what, that guy can take it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you can either have to give it or take it, and he's a taker.
That's right.
All right, it's the Ultimate Combat Experience. Let's put a wrap on it. We'll see you next week.